Jamal Niaz here with Eddie Hearn. We're at the Callum Smith, John Ryder press conference. Bit of a pleasant surprise this one, because a few weeks ago we were a bit on the fence as to whether Callum was going to sign the contract and continue to fight with Matchroom. How did that come about?
I think a lot of posturing, at that stage. Obviously everyone wants as much money as they can. Some people, mainly Joe Gallagher, was putting a few things out there and speaking to other people, and I think Callum was comfortable with his position with us. Obviously we've had him since his debut. We've got big plans for him as well, and this fight is kind of like a bit like Billy Joe's fight coming up. It's kind of like the waiting game before the mega fights. Once you get to the mega fights, it's actually quite easy to do deals with fighters because the money's there. What we wanted to do this time was we wanted to make a big Saturday night fight night on Sky, non-pay-per-view, give him that exposure to an audience. He's been boxing the World Boxing Super Series, which has been good for him in some respects, i.e. came out with a belt and quite a bit of money, but bad for him in terms of profile. So this fight is all about regaining that profile before we go to Anfield. But he's got to beat John Ryder, and when you look at the current runs of super middleweights, I think Ryder's as good as anybody. He beat Jamie Cox, stopped him in, I think, the second round, beat Nielsen with a devastating KO, beat Sorokin in the final eliminator, the unbeaten Russian, and then beat Akaway on an away show in Las Vegas. So he's full of confidence, and one of the reasons I'm so pleased to make this fight is because the other options were to take a standard defence from the top 15 of the WBA rankings, which isn't the most attractive. So, we've gone from, an Australian or whoever we chose from that rankings to a British fighter who is on a great run, who is the mandatory challenger, and who's coming to win. And although Callum Smith is looking like the #1 super middleweight in the world right now, John Ryder is full of confidence, he's punching hard, and it's going to be a great fight. And although we've got plans for Liverpool and this and that, Ryder's with us as well. We like him a lot, and it's a case of saying, this is your opportunity, boys. Callum, you've got everything to defend. John, you could just completely change your life in one fight. And I'd rather give that opportunity to one of our own in terms of a Matchroom fighter, but one of our own in terms of a fellow Brit as well, rather than looking outside the country to give someone else an opportunity to fight Callum Smith.
It's a very enticing fight for Callum because it is his first fight in Liverpool in such a long time as well. The pressure's got to be on him with the magnitude of the fight that could be coming next after that as well. But
also fighting a domestic fighter, there's always more pressure. 100%. Sometimes when you bring a foreign fighter over, you don't know their background. You don't know where their camp's gone, you don't know what their team's like, you don't know how much they really want it or believe it. Now we know all those things in John Ryder, and I don't want to come back to Liverpool for a homecoming with a guy who turns up, gets hit to the body and goes over in 20 seconds and everyone sort of moans. So now you've got a genuine mandatory challenger, British fighter who's on a brilliant run, and he's dangerous in this fight.
We see a stacked table there at the back. They're just announcing the names on there. Can you go through the undercard that you've got together so far?
Yeah, so far. So obviously we only got the fight done on Friday, so I've been working on it over the weekend. David Price will return as co-main event. He'll defend his WBA Intercontinental title that he beat off Dave Allen. Looking for an opponent for that at the moment. We've got a brilliant cruiserweight fight between Craig Glover and Chris Billam-Smith, likely to be for the Commonwealth title if Lawrence Okoli wins that European title. I think that's a really good fight. We've got Anthony Fowler will return. He'll defend his Intercontinental title. We've got Tom Farrell against Mashadod, which is like one for the Scousers. It's going to be a big fight. We've got Tom Whittaker, Hart, other fights as well to announce. So just planning now. Got those up and running, and it's going to be a big show. We haven't brought World Championship boxing here for good few years since Bellew defended his world title here, and it doesn't happen very often. It's not very often that a Scouser holds a version of the world title and defends it in Liverpool. So I think it's big for the city, and we wanted to make it happen. And I think Callum was insistent on that homecoming defence after being on the road for a long time.
It's a big month for the Northwest in terms of the card that you've got a few weeks before with the Crolla's retirement fight, Katie Taylor. Just talking about Crolla there, is there an update on who that's going to be?
Yeah, we're just finalising his opponent at the moment. It's kind of like I probably wanted to give him a little bit of a more easier fight than what he will end up having. It's just, you've got to get the mix right, haven't you, of saying, and this is just being totally honest to fans, it is almost like a retirement fight, but it can't be just an 8-rounder against He won't want that either. He won't want. It's not a celebration. It's not a night where everyone just sort of comes out and wishes him well and he's smiling. He's got to win this fight because as much as he boxed Lomachenko last time, he was really gutted with that, the way it played out. He was beaten fair and square, obviously, but he feels like he still has a lot left in the tank. And I think the competitor in him wants to prove that on November the 2nd. It's quite brave to do it, because if I was him, I'd just take the gimme, But we'll confirm it this week. It's going to be a proper fight.